Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and today I have my bucket. So that means that we are doing buys and buys for January. So you guys can see this bucket is quite full and I do have some stuff over here that didn't quite fit in the bucket. So we have a lot of things to go through. And I had talked to you guys during my kind of intro slash outro finale for 2025 that I am on a more replacement only buy. I have a few categories that I am able to play in, and of course I am looking at my little basket over there. I did okay, but I also want to say that I'm also human. So I am trying to change purchasing habits. I'm trying to change mindsets as far as where I'm going with my beauty items and with my makeup items. So of course I'm going to give myself some grace. I'm talking like I went like hog wild and I did not. So, but I do want to say like I'm not going to be perfect with this because I've never done a replacement only buy before. I've had opportunities to spend my beauty budget at will. So I am definitely seeing some changes and we will work on them as we go along. But otherwise I do have, like I said, a full bucket of empties. I have this eye look on today. I just went for it. And the only thing I have to do today other than film is laundry and taking Anara to her vet appointment. So we will see what the vet thinks of this. I did show you guys kind of in my video that went up on the 10th that I got a haircut. So we are up to shoulder length and I am loving it, but it grows so fast that before long it'll be back down to here. So, but this is dyed my hair last night. We're doing all the updates. So do not mind my hairline because it is stained with hair dye. But I did dye my hair last night. These are my natural curls that are coming through after sleeping on it all night. But I am still loving the look, how it came together. So let me go ahead and get everything pulled up. Let me play my little intro and we are going to get into my empties and my purchases for January. But I forgot. I got this video idea from another YouTuber. Her name is Anne. She's always linked down below. Now that I have given credit where credit is due, let me roll my beautiful bean footage and we will get into my update. Do 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 do. All right, so like I said, the bucket is full. Let me go ahead and pull everything out of this and lay it out on my table in the little groups that we usually do. And we're gonna go over what I was able to use up in January. All right, let me get the big ones out of the way first, and big as in space, not big as in value. But you guys know in my 26 and 2026, I do have my face masks rolled into that project, and so I used some face masks. So I did use some of my Azure ones, so the collagen and peptide, and then the hyaluronic acid and collagen. I did get 2 of these used up, so those got checked off my 26 and 2026 list. But the big thing that I used up with my mask is my Dr. Jart Ceramidin. So this was a pack of 5, and number 5, no, that's number 4. Where's number 5? Oh, number 5 is actually, I still have it in my drawer in my thingamajigger. I need to use in my vanity, because you guys don't know what a thingamajigger is. But I have it in my drawer because I want to use up the rest of the like serum out of this. So I have number 5 kind of folded over and like clamped so that I could use the serum. But I just have that one in here. But I did get all 5 of these done, so I now can consider this entire pack an empty, and that is helpful. Like I got this in a FabFitFun, so I did not pay for this myself, but this box of masks is a $36 value, so we are already starting off strong with my empties. Now of course my other masks, like these 2, I don't consider these boxes and packs empty until I've used up all 5 masks that come in these, but these are each $5 each for 5 masks, so not a big value, but I love these masks. I love the serum in them. They are my favorite. The Dr. Jart ones are fine. It's just not something that I would like go out and spend my own money on. I would get them again if they came in a FabFitFun, but it's not something that I am like seeking out for myself. They're just a little bit too expensive when there is really good masks out there for cheaper. That is for sure. Coffee, because I am freezing and it's actually 10 o'clock in the morning, so I'm filming kind of early for me. If I had my way, I would still be in bed. But I did get up, I did get ready, we're doing this, but I still need coffee. This is my first cup of the day, so we're still working on it. Let's look at some one-offs. So this does not count in any sort of inventory. This does not count in any sort of money. I just wanted to say, hey, I used up a self-tanner. So this is the Jergens Natural Glow. I do get it in medium deep just because if I'm going to put a product like this on, I want it to like show up on my skin. Even though I am so pale that I'm pretty much translucent, I still want something like this to show up because I know you're supposed to use this like multiple times to get the color that you want. But for me, I'm super lazy with that. So when I get the medium to deep, I'm able to just do one application, get a little bit of a tan glow going on my legs, and then I can let it fade for a week and I don't have to do multiple applications to build up to the color that I want. I just get the color that I want right then and there. So I did use up one of these. I don't think I've repurchased these because I have another tanning product that is a foam. So I don't know if I want to go back to this just because with this being a lotion, it's like the foam, yes, you have to like wash it off after a couple hours. What is my hair doing? My curls are doing their own thing. But the foam, you have to wash it off after a couple hours, but it's not this like thick feeling. And also like this has a self-tanner smell. So like you smell like this. Typically I would put this on and then go to bed. But the thing is like I would still wake up in the morning smelling like self-tanner. So I don't know if I would go back to this. I think I'd rather just do like the express foams and then just be done with it. Another one off. Used up my Aquaphor. This is what I use for my eye cream. So very cheap and effective eye cream if you ask me. So Aquaphor actually did change their packaging, not like a whole lot, but they changed the way their lids look, and I actually kind of like the new lid. I think they changed it to use less plastic, but also it is easier to open and close. But like I said, I love my Aquaphor. I use this actually on my like dry areas. So I put it on my under eyes, I put it around my nose, and then I put a little bit on my chin because I get oily on my chin, but I also get like dryness around my chin. So I usually just slather myself with Aquaphor. I let all my stuff sink in, and this is my lovely eye cream. This also we use on our lips as well. My husband gets really bad chapped lips, and so I slather him with Aquaphor on his mouth. Let's see, where else do we want to go? Let's do, what about my Holo Taco? So I told you guys this was the Fallen Flaky. Like I poured everything that I could out of this. Like there's a bunch of the flakes stuck at the top, just kind of dried up there. I told you guys that it was extremely hard for me to get these flakes out of here. And so I mixed them in. Oh, the only thing that's left in here at the bottom are the little like steel balls that are used to mix it. So that's the only thing that's down at the bottom. But I mixed this in with Misery, and just to like be able to get some use on this, I told you guys that it's not, the flakes aren't as prominent in Misery, but also there was not a whole lot of flakes left. So it's kind of like if I paint my nails with Misery from I Love Nail Polish, I'll get a like kind of teal flake in there from time to time, but it still is a way for me to use my polishes. And really, this was unusable as it stands before I emptied it. So we're considering this an empty. I know we talked about in my overall empty products with like Menchie the cat, you guys had said, hey, if you use a nail polish to where it is no longer usable, then it's an empty. So I am kind of carrying that into this year as well, and so Fallen Flaky is going to be an empty. I walked around Ulta yesterday, and they do have a little Holo Taco like stand. They only had one unicorn skin, and I don't think they had any other flakies there, but if I was to go back to Holo Taco, it would be specifically for their flakies. I have not found a comparable flaky on I Love Nail Polish as far as the kind of flakies that Holo Taco does, and so this is the, like I said, the flakes are the only reason I would go back to Holo Taco. Otherwise, I am not, I'm content with my I Love Nail Polish. I do have one hair care item that I used up, and this is the Amika Soul Food Nourishing Mask, so their hair mask. I got this in a FabFitFun, and like I said, it's completely done. With my hair masks, I actually scrape them out, and I put them into an old Aussie 3-minute Miracle Pump, because I would rather pump out my products than reach in and like grab them with my hand. So anytime I have a conditioner, I always end up turning it into something that goes into the pump. So that's what I did with this one. And then I just hold on to my containers until it's empty, and then I can tell you guys, hey, I used this up. Like I said, I got this in a FabFitFun, and I like the Ava NYC one also, but I think for what the kind of moisture that my hair needs, I'm okay with sticking with the Shea Moisture products, with the like Manuka honey, the Mafrula oil, like the black castor oil mask from Shea Moisture. I am okay with sticking with those. Those are, they are definitely less expensive than this, but they work beautifully. So if this came back up in a choice for a FabFitFun, I would go back to this. It is a beautiful hair mask, and I use hair mask as conditioner because I only wash my hair twice a week, so I'm doing a mask twice a week on my hair. But like I said, it's not something that I would go out and like walk around Ulta and be like, oh, I need to buy this 20-something. Let me see how much this was. $36. Never mind. This is $36. Who? I've turned into an owl. Remember that old meme? It's like somebody in this room is an owl. Who? Yeah, who is spending $36 on this? Just get the Ava NYC one or get a Shea Moisture one. No, Amika. We're not falling for it. But it came in a FabFitFun, so I did use it up. All right, let's do skincare. I have 3 of these. So my cleansing products. So another one of my Innisfree Green Tea Hydrating Cleansers. This one was obviously on clearance, and I snatched it up. I did a little me day yesterday, so I walked through every single aisle of Ulta. And then I walked through every single kind of like beauty and pet aisle of my TJ Maxx. So I had a little me day, but they did not have any of these at TJ Maxx. Not that I need more of them right now, but like I said, I'm going to pick up these whenever I can because I don't want to pay full price for these. We go through these like crazy because my husband and I are both using them in conjunction with each other, which I have to put a new one in my shower, which again, I empty this into a pump. And my pump is empty in my shower, so I have to see which one I'm putting into that pump. I don't, when I'm taking like my baths or my showers, I don't want to flip top stuff. Like I just want to pump stuff out and move on with my life. But this is my Holy Grail cleanser. It is a cream to foam. I do have oily skin. I wear a full face of makeup, so this really does a beautiful job with cleansing. My husband, on the other hand, of course, doesn't wear makeup, but he has dry skin, and this does not strip his skin, which is wonderful. And then I did use up one of the Madagascar, or the Skin 1004, the Madagascar Centella Light Cleansing Oil. There's a tiny bit left in there that I couldn't get out. I could probably take the lid off, and actually I'll use that to remove this makeup today. But I did use up one of these. I ended up repurchasing a bunch of these whenever I found them on clearance at TJ Maxx, and this has kind of become my Holy Grail cleansing oil, so I really, really enjoy this one. Is this the one? I just sprayed oil all over my iPad. Yes, this one here, it kind of has, let me get my towel so I can clean that up. It kind of has a cereal milk scent to it. So if you remember eating like Fruit Loops or Trix or any of those like fruity cereals, and then once you were done with your cereal, you had the milk, This smells like cereal milk, and like fruity cereal milk, and I'm not mad about it. It is actually a very pleasant experience to wash your face with something, well, for me, to wash my face with something that smells like fruity cereal milk. And then the last skincare product that I went through is another Innisfree product, and this is the Youth Enriched Gel Cream with Orchid. I actually tried to look for another one of these at TJ Maxx yesterday because this is the gel moisturizer that I mixed in with my foundations and my concealers and made them the perfect consistency for me. So I was like, oh, it's this stuff. Like, this is what I want. I don't know if I want to like play around with other gel moisturizers to see which one would work for me. But like I said, I emptied it out completely. Again, with these, I do empty these out and put them into like a pump that you push down and the product comes out of it. So that is how I end up using, because I don't want to dip my fingers in things. It's just me. But like I said, this is a beautiful gel moisturizer. I really enjoy this, but I will not purchase it full price because this does pop up at TJ Maxx from time to time. So this is something that I definitely would grab if I saw it in like a TJ Maxx or a Marshalls. Definitely love this gel moisturizer. But those are the 3 skincare products that I got done. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 makeup items. Let's do this one first. So this is the Clinique, it's an eyeliner, the Clinique Quick Line for Eyes Intense, and this is in Intense Midnight. So I got a pack of 3 of these during holiday season 2024. I got the blue, the black, and the brown. I've already used up the brown, I used up the blue, and I'm using up the black. Now these are not full size because they come in like a trial kind of kit. And so with this one, these are the ones that you click up and you cannot click them down. But what I love about these, I love them for the tight line because you click up just enough, you can really get in there and scrub on your tight line, and it's so smooth. It doesn't like, there's no sharpenable bits that end up like catching on your eyelids. Like, there's none of that. They're just beautiful for the tight line. So right now I'm using up the black one on the tight line, and then I had you guys drop me a bunch of suggestions for black eyeliners, which, like I said, I need to go back to Ulta and swatch a bunch of black liners and a bunch of purple liners to see what I am doing my replacements for those. But I was able to use up another liner, which feels really good. And then you guys saw this one as an empty in my project pan, and that is my Say Glowy Super Gel. I'm looking at it now, Glowy Super Gel. Look at me, getting it right on the first time. I showed you guys about me cutting open the bag. I had some B-roll of the bag that I did not show you guys during my project pan update, so editing me, insert that B-roll now. But I did pull the bag out of the bottle and I took everything out. I told you guys that I ended up with about 230 something uses on that product to use it up, and that is something I would definitely repurchase. I'm using my minis right now, and so that is something that I would go back to 1000%. Kind of on the vein of that is my e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter in Tan. So I did end up using this up. When I scraped the rest of this out, this also went into my Fenty Eavesdrop concoction that I made, which is right there. And I do have that on my skin with some other stuff today. But like I said, when I mixed the Fenty with this, with like the stuff I scraped out of here, with the gel moisturizer, with my concealer concoction, when I mixed all those together, it gave me the perfect foundation. And I'm so angry that I like just found that out now that I'm at the like dredges of it. But this is actually going to be a repurchase. And this is a little bit of a spoiler for my deck of panning, maybe, is what I have it rolled in for. I rolled in the Say Glowy Super Gel in Sun Glow, which is the tan one. I rolled that one in for a prompt because that is what I was like, oh, I can use that to tan up my chest, which I did not do today. I took my bronzer maybe down to my collarbones, but not below that, so we're not paying attention to that. But I think for the amount of product, because it's very sheer, for the amount of product that I would need to use of the Say product to actually bronze up my chest or bronze up my arms, I would go through that mini size in like 5 uses, and I'm not about that life. I'm going to be able to use that later on to change the tone of my foundations a little bit. So I am going to go back and I'm going to purchase this. I'm surprised I didn't just purchase it yesterday while I was in Ulta. I just don't think I was thinking about it. Or maybe I was like, let me see if I can get it on a sale. But like I said, this is in tan, so it's shade 6. So this was dark for me, but the whole reason behind that was so that I could use it to tan up my body, tan up my arms, change the shade of my lighter foundations whenever we get into the summertime. But this was wonderful bang for my buck because you guys see all my line markings. It took me about 1.5 years to get through with this. When did I purchased this in October of 2023 and just now used it up. So this is a great product. Like, I don't use a whole lot of it because I'm not using it the same way that I would use a skin toned type of one, which I think I used like shade 1 or 2 of the other one. But yeah, this is going to be a repurchase, and this is going to be, again, a replacement because the Say Glowy Super Gel in Sun Glow is not a body bronzer. It is going to be a shade adjuster. So that is where I am distinguishing the two different products, that I'm not necessarily overlapping them. I did finish a setting spray, and this is the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day in Coconut. This is the other component which I like mix in with my e.l.f. Dewy coconut setting sprays. But I did go through this one. This is now an empty. I will see how I do with the other one. So this is the other half of that product. So when I take these two and I dump them in a container together, I mix them and then I put them back in their bottles. So I do end up using just the sprayer on this one, but when this one got really low, I just kept filling it with this one until this one was empty, and that's when I consider this one the empty. Then I'm going to go ahead and use up everything that is in this bottle, and then this one will be considered the empty. So that's how I do it whenever I mix my products. As far as with this, when I mix my powders, typically when the entire thing is gone, that's when those 2 powders are gone, which right now I have a powder mixture that has 3 powders in it. And we'll see how that one goes, because one of them is the one size powder, and that powder is humongous, so that will probably take me 6 months to use up that loose powder. But my last empty is going to be the ColourPop Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Balm, and this is in Watermelon Sugar. I loved this. Like, it took everything in me not to repurchase this yesterday, but you guys would have just seen in my video on the 10th, in my reflecting video, that I have my Watermelon Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, and because I do put that Laneige product in a squeezy tube, I can kind of use that the same way that I used this. It is a little bit thicker of a consistency, but once it gets on the lips and it melts down, it provides that same kind of like juicy shine with that watermelon scent, and it is gorgeous. So while I do miss that one, and maybe as like I'm gonna reapply, maybe as a pat on the back for finishing up my Laneige Watermelon Lip Sleeping Mask, I will let myself repurchase this once I have that one done. That might like kick me in the pants a little bit to go ahead and get that other one done. But the ColourPop balms are beautiful. I would say that these are the e.l.f. ones are garbage. And I think that I might be the only one who feels like that. I actually, again, to be transparent, I purchased one of those e.l.f. lip balms. I used it twice and I immediately threw it away. So I did not even count it in my inventory. I didn't count it in anything. That was cost of doing business, I guess. But the flavor isn't right. The texture isn't right. The component is cheap. Like, You know when you get the plastic components, like this one even has the like squishy like plastic where it's actually like not a hard plastic tip on it. But you know when you get the hard plastic tips and they have a little bit of like the plastic from the molding left on it and it just scrapes your lips every time you use it? That's the e.l.f. ones. Trash, trash. So I will not buy those ever again. These are beautiful. If they would have had some additional like sense of like the sparkly ones at my Ulta, I could have been convinced. But there's certain scents that like I was like, I want to actually smell these so that I know that I like them. But the watermelon sugar one is beautiful. Beautiful. I would say that these are a little bit thinner and a little bit more glossy than the Summer Friday ones, but I actually like that about this one. So, beautiful formula. I would definitely repurchase. So that was all of my makeup empties. Let me do some not so honorable mentions for some declutters. So I told you guys that I was looking for a root spray that I like. And of course, like I dyed my hair, so I won't need it probably for the next 2 weeks, but my hair grows about an inch a month. So I end up with a lot of roots very quickly. And I ended up buying the Schwarzkopf one at my local Publix. And I fell in love with it because not only was it a root spray as far as like color, but also it was like a texture spray. So it like added volume at your roots and it made my curls just sit up a little bit more and it was very, very pretty. But I was like, oh, that's like an $11 to $13 product for this tiny can. Like, can I find something better? You guys gave me some recommendations. I bought 2. And I hate both of them. So the first one is going to be so this one I got at Publix as well. So this one was on sale at my Publix. And this was which if you're not from the Southeast, Publix is our grocery store. And we are famous for our fried chicken, our pub subs. The whole like tagline is like where shopping is a pleasure. Like it's not quite like Fresh Market or like Whole Foods, but it is considered more of the like nicer, more expensive, but like not totally expensive, but like it is the nicer grocery store, which actually we had a Winn-Dixie. It just like went under and it closed. Aldi ended up buying a lot of the Winn-Dixies, so we're actually getting an Aldi put into our Winn-Dixie, and we're getting a Walmart Marketplace, which again, I guess you know your town is coming up when we ended up getting a Chick-fil-A. We're getting an Aldi. We're getting a Walmart Marketplace. Now we just need a Target that's not an hour away, and that'd be great. But here nor there. So where was I? Oh, what is Publix? Publix is amazing. Their cake, like if you go to a birthday party in the Southeast and people don't have a Publix cake, like you're almost like, no, I'm good. I don't need any. But if they have Publix cake, then you're like, cut me off a slice, give me the one with all the flowers and all the icing, give me all of that. So we are very protective of our Publix down here. But again, this is the Ever Pro Gray Away Instant Root Cover-Up, and this is in dark brown. So, and the other one that I have is the L'Oreal Dark Brown Root Magic Cover-Up. And I think what I have figured out about both of these is I don't like the tip. That's what she said. But you guys see where it has, let me put it in front of my face so it has a pale background. But you see how it has that nozzle? So because it is shooting out of such a thin nozzle, you end up with splatters. And so if I put these on, I might save these to put on when I'm not wearing makeup, but typically if I'm doing my root spray, like my hair is dry, my face is on, I'm like touching up my roots, however, I end up styling my hair, and then I get splatters of this all over my forehead, all over my cheeks, and it doesn't matter if like I stop spraying and then give it a second, it'll still splatter everywhere. Both of these. So I understand when people were like, oh, use these for your fake freckles. Yeah, because they splatter everywhere. And then I would have to come in here with a spoolie and flake off the splatters and then touch up those areas. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to walk out my door with splatters all over my face from these. So they're fails for me. They're full, and like I said, I spent my dang money on these. But I think, oh, hold on, creaky chair. I told you guys about my creaky chair. That it's not me being gassy over here, but I think what I'm going to do is maybe I'll at least take the L'Oreal one. This one, again, I wasn't really impressed with the color, and I also wasn't impressed with the amount of color that it deposited. So I might hold on to the L'Oreal one and just use this when I don't have makeup on. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be even worth it, but I'll give this one another shot. The Schwarzkopf one has a regular, like, almost looks like a hairspray kind of tip to it, where it doesn't have this like funneled little tip here. It's just a regular sprayer. And I don't want to necessarily mess this up by like cutting this nib off, or if I can even call it a nipple without being demonetized. Like, I don't know if I can even just like cut that off with a pair of nippers and then it will work better. Maybe I'll try that on this one because I don't care about this one, but I can't do it. I can't do it. Getting splatters all over my face. Not for me. But those are the honorable, dishonorable mentions. So let me go ahead and look at my numbers. So for my totals, the only thing that I'm not counting is going to be my Aquaphor. It's a $6 tube of Aquaphor. I use it multi-purpose, so I'm not worried about it like counting as like my eye cream. It is what it is. But for my empties, I am looking at $188.20. Our big ticket items in there are going to be the Amika Soul Food Mask, hair mask, and also the Dr. Jart 5-pack of face masks. Everything else is very, very inexpensive. Actually, no. The Say Super Glowy Gel was $22.40, so that one is going to be a little bit higher. And then the cleansing oil I paid $16.29 for. But other than that, everything else is under that $15 mark. So that makes me feel really good about these products. And again, just getting use on my things. And I think last January was like my lowest month. And so it's interesting to see how the pendulum kind of swings back and forth. And I'm already looking at the basket that I've started to put my February empties into. And so I am looking at some things over there, and I need to update my spreadsheets for those as well. But I am very happy with how my January empties turned out. Let me go ahead and move all this stuff to the side, pull over my purchases, and we will go over the things that I brought into my collection. All right, so I did make a few purchases. And I think I even showed you guys whenever I had to refilm that one video, I was like, yeah, my Sephora box came in the middle of that video as well. So obviously I did a order from Sephora. And I'm getting use on one of my Project 10 use items. I actually really like this formula. The NARS, oh God, this is so small. But it's like the Afterglow lip balm stuff. Love this. I'm trying to figure out what to spend my beauty budget on this year. So maybe once this thing's gone, maybe I end up picking up another one in a different color. But one of the first items that I ended up picking up is I got a backup of my sunscreen. And actually, I ended up having to purchase one of these for my husband because he was out of his sunscreen. So while I was on Amazon buying a bottle of this for him, I went ahead and I picked up another one for me. Now, of course, I'm not tracking my husband's beauty products, his sunscreen that he's using and his moisturizer, because he kind of just like uses like offshoots from whatever I buy, but I'm not going to charge myself for sunscreen that he is using. That is just his hygiene items that goes into our household like budget. But for myself, because I track with you guys, I am charging myself for my backup of my sunscreen. So I got this for $16.99 on Amazon. This is the iUnique Centella Calming Daily Sunscreen. This is the SPF 50 PA++++++. And I love this. This is now my holy grail, and this is the sunscreen that I will be using for the indefinite future. Until either they stop making it or until something else comes along that is better. The next round of purchases that I made was my purchase from Sephora, and of course they sent out a thing that was like 20% off their sale items, and I blame this purchase on Jessica Lee. I have been binge watching her channel, and I have to forgive all of my YouTube friends out there. I am so bad at commenting, mainly because I'm either watching your videos while I'm getting ready in the morning, or I am like listening to them in the car. Like I just listen to your videos. My phone is like away, you know, but I'm listening to your videos, so I can't comment if I'm in the car type of thing. Donna's videos I watch a lot, in the car. I listen to her a lot in the car. She keeps me company on my commute home a lot of times. But I've been watching a lot of Jessica Lee's panning content and her videos, and she influenced me for this product. So this is from Peace Out, and this is their retinol face stick. So I'm going through the midlife crisis where I don't want my face to crinkle and wrinkle, and I know it is what it is, but ultimately I did not take care of my skin with actives up until a certain point. And then I was like, oh my God, now I'm looking like I'm aging. Let me do something about this. She was talking about how she is panning this retinol stick. And again, it comes with a little cover. I decided to keep the cover just to keep the products like kind of fresh, but it is just a stick that you can rub on your like target areas, because what I was seeing with my retinol use was that if I was putting retinol all over my face, then there was parts of my face that are drier that were getting almost too much retinol exposure, and so they were getting more dry and more flaky versus me just targeting the areas that I want to target. So with this stick, I've already started using it. Let me see how far down it actually is. Like, you don't need a whole lot of it, but I mean, I'm already, let me see. I'm already like that far down on the stick, so I have used it, but I am using this on my, whoo, and Jane just started dreaming over there, so his feet are kicking against one of my tables. But I am using that product on my forehead wrinkles up here above my eyebrows, because my eyebrows go up and I'm expressive. I'm using them on my 11s because, you know, you gotta squint at people. I'm using them on my, isn't this called, not, I'll have to be very careful because, is it a labial fold? But I thought labia versus labial. I'm using them on my smile lines. We'll keep it, you know, PG over here. I'm using them on my smile lines, and then I do end up having a crease right here where my chin is, where my lip turns down. I end up with a crease right there. So I started putting this in that crease as well. So those are the like targeted spots that I'm using this stick on, and I'm using it like every other night. I kind of feel like targeting retinol in those places. I tried putting it on like my smile lines up here around my eyes, and it was a little bit sensitive, so I think I need to do something different around there, or something a little bit more low strength. But like I said, I have been using this. Not enough to give a review, but I definitely blame Jessica for the endorsement for this product. Now, because it was already on sale and then I got an additional 20% off, I paid $14.14 for this product. Now, I have not rolled it up all the way, so I don't know how much product you actually get in this. So let me see It feels like quite a bit. Yep. Okay, so you get that much product. Not bad, especially because you don't use a lot of it. It is a stiffer formula, so when you're rubbing it on your face, like it doesn't become super emollient, and it's not just like sloshing off. You actually do get kind of a firm pushback, and so you're not overusing this product. So I will have to report back about my feelings about that retinol stick. And then also what I picked up during that Sephora order was one of the Ordinary 100% organic cold pressed rosehip seed oils. I've used up quite a few of these in the past, and recently Jessica Braun has been talking about this product again and how she started using it for some of her like anti-aging stuff. And I remembered how much I love this product. So I wanted it back in my life. You guys just saw in my video on the 10th that I do have my Mafrula oil that is going to be 2 years old in July, so I need to also use that. But I do want to kind of get back into my my skincare oils and kind of using them more often, and again, reaping the benefits of these products. And the prices of The Ordinary, you absolutely cannot go wrong. So I did pay full price for that one, so $10.09. Or was it $10.90? It might have been $10.90. I think that is a typo. So we're going to go with $10.90 for that oil. So then, if you guys saw my description box for my last video, it was this. So that purple look that I had on in my reflecting video came from the Singe Beauty Succulent Dew palette. This thing is gorgeous. So look at that. I did use these two purples, this purple, this shimmer here. And I think I defined, no, I didn't use this one yet. So I just used these three mattes and then that shimmer on the lid, and that was my entire look for the video, for my last video. It was stunning. So I can't wait to get even more use on this beautiful palette. I do enjoy the Singe formula, especially because the shimmers are a little bit thinner. I also do have aging eyelids that like to crease, and I have oily eyelids that like to eat shimmers. So I do appreciate the thinner shimmer formula on these Singe palettes because it is less likely to crease. And I'm trying to think, what were my thoughts? I think, so purples are always kind of hard to formulate. The kind of mid-tone purple right here, which is Spiderworth, that one, it wasn't patchy, but it took a little bit more working with. I just had to build it a little bit more. I had to kind of like blend out the edges a little bit more delicately. And so that one, but I know purples are hard. And I will give it grace because you guys saw that look. The look turned out beautiful. The blend turned out beautiful. I just had to do a little bit of extra work, but not any more extra work than I have to do with any other purple shade. And actually this teal shade that is out here, I had to babysit this teal shade a little bit today. So again, that's no shade, shade versus shade. That's no like over critiquing of the formula. The formula is still beautiful. It's just kind of knowing what shades you have to be a little bit more mindful with. And unfortunately, a lot of times it is purples, but this is beautiful. I cannot wait to get into this like fuchsia, maybe do like a fuchsia and green look. I am looking forward. Even though there is a shade in here called Damp, which I know like damp and moist is one of those words, or some of those words for people, even though she did not name a shimmer moist. So, Angie, we needed a moist shade. It would have made everyone super comfortable, but that is beautiful. I did pay full price for that one. She does not use coupon codes for her brand, but she only like has her twice a year kind of sales. So that one was $45 for that palette. Now let's look into the last three items that I picked up are hair care. So I was at Target and the Raw Sugar brand was like on clearance. And so I don't know if they are phasing out Raw Sugar at Target or if like Raw Sugar is changing their packaging, so they're phasing out their old products and kind of bringing in the new. As you are scratching your ear, sir. But I did pick up one of the conditioners that I love. So this is the Raw Sugar, the Moisture Smoothie Conditioner for Dry Hair. Love this one. So I did pick up one of these, and then they had their hair mask, which I've not tried before. But like I said, I just used up the Amika one. I'm using up my Shea Moisture mask right now, and so I'm going to need another mask kind of coming up. And if I can get it on a deal, then I'm going to get it on a deal. It smells clean. What does this remind me of? Hold on. This reminds me of something from my youth. Like a body spray, but it's like, it smells like aloe and it smells fresh. So what from our youth was like aloe smelling? Or maybe it's just straight aloe. Well, it has agave in it. So, okay, Erin, good nose. So this has avocado oil, banana, coconut milk, and agave. So I'm smelling the agave. I was hoping that I was going to smell the banana, because you guys know that I want to live my life as a sexy banana, but I do not smell the banana in here. Maybe banana leaves is what I smell in here, because we had a banana tree in my yard growing up. And like I remember the smell of banana leaves. And banana leaves and agave actually smell very similar, at least in my mind. Probably somebody out there is like, they smell nothing like each other. But I am very excited about using this. It is humongous. You get 12 fluid ounces. And so like this tub is huge. Compared to the Amika one, which I still have right here, this was 8 fluid ounces. So 12 versus 8. This was $36 retail. I got this for $7.64. So I will go with the deal. And the same thing with the regular conditioner. This one was $7.64 as well on sale. And I love this stuff. Again, what I actually end up doing is I take a gallon Ziploc bag and I mix one of these and a hair mask, and I mix them together in the gallon Ziploc bag, and then I use the gallon Ziploc bag like a piping bag, and I cut off one of the tips, and I pipe the conditioner into my pump. Welcome to my life, where I just find ways to use things. What I did pick up one more hair care product. So I have fallen in love with the Color Wow shampoo. And you guys saw in December or you guys saw in January that I picked up one in December from Sephora when they were doing the 20% off for everybody. So I picked up another one of the Color Wow shampoos. The Color Wow shampoo that is in my shower right now, it is almost gone, like probably like 3 or 4 more washes and that thing will be gone. So I wanted to try to find a more low-cost alternative. And I know people have been talking so much about the L'Oreal Everpure lines. And so I was like, let me try one of these. So I kind of looked at some of them and like, what do I want as far as for my hair? So I did pick up, so this is the Color Care System. So this is good for color treated hair because of course I dye my hair. That's important to me that it's not going to strip my color. So this is the Bond Repair Shampoo. Strengthens weakened hair bonds. Let's see, 7% bonding care complex with citric acid. And so like I said, I wanted to give this a try. I wanted to see how this stacks up. So what I might do is when I'm done with my current Color Wow shampoo, I might put the new one and this one in my shower at the same time. And I might do like 1 week of wash with one week of wash with the other, and see if I can tell a difference. Because I got this for $9.99, so $10. But of course, like, I'm sure that this goes on sale sometimes. Ulta might have sales on this type of stuff. But if I can get a shampoo that works for me, that does what I want it to do without stripping my hair, while also like maintaining the bond and the moisture and all that stuff, if I can get that for cheaper than what the Color Wow one is, absolutely, I want to be on that 1000%. Oh, Sephora is texting me to tell me to buy more because, of course, you get bombarded. I almost personally think, depending on like selecting like cookies on your phone and stuff like that, I almost feel that like when Ulta can sense that you're close to an Ulta, they text you. Like, I was in Ulta yesterday and they texted and they're like, "Hey, looking for something specific?" And I'm like, "Y'all, this tracking system is insane." But like I said, I did spend $25.27 on hair care. So I'm still not charging myself for hair care. And that comes down to the fact that typically I'm only spending about $100 a year on my hair care products, so I'm not concerned. If I get to the point that I am wanting to experiment more with hair care, or I end up with more than $100 of hair care at the end of the year, I might repay myself like that, whatever over the $100 is. So if it's like $110, I'll repay myself the $10. But overall, I am okay with spending $100 a year out of my own personal like household budget on my hair care products. And again, that goes back into even my husband's stuff, because I buy him shampoo and conditioner. So like, I don't charge for stuff to get your body clean type of thing. I track it because I don't need a hoard of stuff, but I'm not necessarily going to like punish myself in my budget for items that I use to literally clean and keep my hygiene. That's just me. So let's look at how I did. No makeup purchases, which is wonderful. That feels really good. But what we were looking at with my budget, so I ended 2025 with $100 or $102.34. I carried that over. I just rolled it over. I was like, you know what? Whatever. So I just rolled that over. Now I'm still doing my $75 per paycheck, and January was a magic month. So I ended up with 3 paychecks in January. So that was $225 that went into my beauty budget, which again is a lot. But I did some spending at Ulta yesterday. I allowed myself. So like I said, I'm still working on what this replacement buy will be like, and I do have my play categories. But yesterday, after like taking care of my husband and the extra stress from work, I wasn't stress shopping, but I was allowing myself to just get the things that I wanted. And again, I didn't go overboard. I bought 3 things. 3 things. But I allowed myself that whatever I walked through the aisles and whatever kind of sparked my fancy, if it was something that like I was like, I truly will use this, I truly will enjoy this, I allowed myself to purchase it yesterday. And that felt pretty dang good. But let's get back to the numbers. And of course, my picture is real little, and you guys are seeing my spreadsheet below me. So we love to share our numbers on this channel. So for my overall purchases, I did spend $87.29 between the sunscreen, the Sephora purchase, and the palette. So $87. I did have $327.34 available in my budget already starting out at the beginning of January. So as far as when I subtract those two, I have the budget of $240.05 rolling into February. Now, again, I told you guys that there's certain things that I might, if I'm doing really well on my budget, I might take some of that money and buy other things. One thing I was kind of thinking of for myself is I would love a new sewing machine. So maybe if we get near the middle of the year and I have like an extra $300 just sitting in my beauty budget that isn't accounted for later on in the year, then maybe I take that $300 and I buy myself a new sewing machine. Like, these are things that like this is a little savings plan that I'm doing for myself and rewarding myself for sticking to kind of my goals with my budget. But definitely rolling into February with $240 feels really good, but we will definitely see how that kind of happens down the line. Again, like I said, I did allow myself to purchase some stuff yesterday. Oh, my husband had to take the truck in to get an oil change today. And I didn't go with him because Anara has her appointment and we didn't want to like miss them, because sometimes the dealership can take a long time to do an oil change. I don't know what they're doing back there. Like you can go to one of those like Take 5 places and they do an oil change in like 25 minutes, but you wait at the dealership for like 3 hours just to get an oil change and a tire rotation. Again, I don't know, but the truck is still new enough that we're still taking it to the dealership. But he just texted me that he was done, but he had to take his boot off and drive to the dealership on his own today and get around on his crutches. And so, bless his heart. I felt so bad for him this morning. I was like, but you scheduled the oil change on the same day Anara had her appointment. I was like, sure, her appointment was on the calendar first. You should have scheduled around her if you wanted me to go with you. But he scheduled all that before he broke his foot. So this is life. This is what we're dealing with. So I don't even know where I'm at. Oh, what am I looking for? Did I go over what my like budget items, how I actually broke things down? But as far as for January, no makeup purchases. I spent $42.29 in skincare, $45 in palettes, and $25.27 in hair care, and then nothing else in perfume and nothing else in tools. But let me scroll to the bottom of my list. So I did have, okay, $900 for makeup, $500 for skincare, $250 for palettes, and $300 for perfume. That is how I broke down my budget. Hair care and tools still don't count. I don't think I'm going to need anything for tools unless for some reason I end up, let me move that one. Unless for some reason I end up needing more sponges by the end of the year, but we'll have to look to see how that goes. But I'm still feeling really good about this. The conditioner stuff, I will run through that. I use my conditioners. I slather my hair in conditioner and let it sit in while I'm in the shower. And again, I will report back after I kind of like try this one a little bit more. I might report back. If you guys end up seeing this in the empties, that means that I found a way to use it. But overall, both of those were misses. I actually, the Schwarzkopf hair stuff was on sale on Amazon and I picked up 2 of those, so I do have those in backup because I don't want to be without those, because again, when I got my hair cut and she like shaved my undercut and all of the like gray hair fell, I was like, oh, it's real gray back there. We're gray back there. So I definitely will want to make sure that my roots are looking fresh and touched up. But otherwise, that is all I have for my buys and buys. I still feel like I'm doing well. I still feel like I'm going to stay intentional about my budget. Even having that little goal for myself to buy a new sewing machine feels kind of good. Like now I feel like, okay, like I want to have that extra money at the middle of the year because I want that new sewing machine. Like I want this stuff. So I do have to save. I do have to do well. So definitely that will feel good depending on how we are looking at the middle of the year. And then like I said, I am so happy to have this. This is so beautiful. So beautiful. When I first saw this, I actually thought that this reminded me of the Cosmic Beauty Muse palette. And then Andy took a picture of the Muse palette and kind of put it next to like the picture of this one that she pulled online. And they are different enough. And I feel like this color story, especially the way how it's laid out, feels a little bit more approachable compared to the Muse palette, which feels a little bit more jumbled. So again, I think I really also like how how Angie is intentional about how she is also setting up her palettes. And I don't know if this manicure is going to last, but I found a new way that I love wearing Lily, which I rolled in for my Project 10 uses. And Andy, bless her heart, she sent me some friend mail, so you guys will actually see that next month. But I have to sing her praises. She sent me a China glaze polish in Don't Mesh With Me. which is this beautiful like purple sparkle. It's sheer, so like it looks like it is like an opaque polish in there, but it's very sheer. So I paint this over Lily and I get this beautiful mermaid effect, and like now this is all I want to wear. So the fact that I now have a way that I love wearing Lily with this polish over top, it's like Andy just saved that polish from the chopping block. Even though as soon as I opened the friend mail, because I wasn't expecting this, she kind of like threw this, she's like, hey, I have a duplicate of this, so I threw it in there. And I was like, you are so sweet. But when I opened it, I was like, Andy, you're throwing off my nail polish numbers. But I'm so glad that she did, because this is gorgeous. So I am definitely getting my uses. Definitely, again, like feeling the vibes, the mermaid vibes, and very happy with all of that. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and go because I actually have 2 videos to edit, because my video that is going up on the 10th, I still have not edited that one completely. But I do want to encourage you guys to do all of the YouTube things. Hit a thumbs up on this video if you guys are enjoying my content. If you're new or lurking, consider hitting that subscribe button. This is my personality. I do project panning, conscious consumerism. I do my beauty budget, which is this channel or this video here. Again, like this is my personality. I do long videos, so people usually like putting these on in the background while they get other things done. So I am a friendly voice in the background while you guys are motivated to do other things. And I am actually like, my heart is so happy that that is what I am to some of you guys. Just a friend in the background jabbering about stuff while you get things done in your life. I love that. But otherwise, drop me a comment down below. Let me know how you guys are doing. Did anybody else pick up the Succulent Dew? Let me know if you guys picked this one up as well, or if you tried to dupe it in your own collections. Let me know how you guys are doing. I love our conversations down in the comment section. So let me know how you guys are doing. But otherwise, I am going to go. All the dogs are sleeping, so that is good news for me to get some work done. But I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. I'm going to wish you guys all a beautiful day, and I'm going to catch you in my next one.